Can you believe we started Interview Boss in 2021?
Not really. It's insane. That's a lot of episodes and a lot of hours of talking.
Oh my gosh, it is. And if you're scrolling through all of our episodes, you might scroll straight past something that you really, really needed.
Yes, we're always getting messages from people asking us to do an episode on something, and I'm like, we already have.
So we've put together playlists to help you find the episodes that are exactly what you need, suited to your situation.
They're all categorized. If you're applying for jobs, we have episodes about resumes, cover letters, job ads. If you've been offered your dream job, we have episodes on resigning, exit interviews, and how to impress at your new company.
And we even have a very special playlist that's very popular for if you have an interview coming up immediately and you need just our most recommended hard-hitting episodes between now and then.
For all our last-minute listeners. It's all there for you. You can browse by category and check out all the playlists at interviewboss.com.au/podcast. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Interview Boss. My name's Emma. I'm a third-year journalism student who's teamed up with my sister to give you advice, inspiration, and support when you're looking for a new job. Sarah is a HR and recruitment professional, and together we're excited to give you guys all the tips, tricks, and behind-the-scenes knowledge to help you in your career.
Hey Em, this week we're talking about something that I think is really misunderstood. So what comes to mind to you when I say networking?
Not gonna lie, for some reason, I just picture being at a cocktail party in a suit and like holding a margarita with a martini with an olive in it, and then you're just like, oh, so like
with a name tag?
Networking. yeah, I don't know, something really awkward and unorganic like that. That's what comes to mind.
Yeah. Absolutely. You couldn't have said that more perfectly. That's exactly what I hoped you'd say, because I think that's what a lot of people imagine when they think about networking, or they read an article that says they should be networking more. They think about going to these like networking events where you're awkwardly standing in the corner with a name tag that says, "Hi, my name is Sarah," and it tells the company.
Or speed dating in a corporate setting. Like you get 2 minutes at each person or something. I don't know, something weird.
Oh, it sounds like torture, doesn't it? So those definitely are networking events, and people use them, I'm sure, to get ahead in their career. But that's not really what I think of when I'm saying networking. It's not just those type of events. It's really just a term that explains connecting with people that you deal with and building some kind of a relationship with them in a professional sense, but also just in terms of like friendship even. There might be a multitude of ways that you'd end up being connected to someone. So a couple of the different types of networking, you can network internally, like in your actual company. So that might be another department, up the chain, that might be other locations, or, supplier companies that you're linked to or something like that.
Right.
It can also be online. So there's a lot of, social platforms that you can network through. So LinkedIn, you might be in a Facebook group that relates to your job. There might even be, new platforms like Clubhouse can be, great networking tools as well. There is obviously events like networking events, but then there's other kinds of there's other kinds of events like awards nights or, openings of things, or just other things that you might go to, a particular meeting or a launch event, and you can network at those without it having to be specifically about that.
So you've just given us a nice overview there of the different kinds of networking and what it can look like, but how can it help you in your job search? What's the whole point of networking? Why? I mean, people harp on about it, especially in my career, the media industry. I'm constantly being told by colleagues and lecturers and everyone, this networking is just life. And, so dive into that. If that's so true, why? What's the benefit for us?
Absolutely. Well, people at the end of the day, when they're hiring someone or they're getting someone to join their team, people want to work with someone that's really good at their job, someone they enjoy
Fair
dealing
enough.
with, someone they want to have someone good in their team. I don't know, is that too obvious? Maybe it is. But the trouble is, how do you know someone is going to be good? There's so many times where people are let down after someone they've hired and it's been a stranger and they haven't been as good as they said they were, or they've let them down, they've left really soon after taking the job, or they just weren't as good as what they expected them to be. So as a result, managers, HR, recruiters, they want to hire someone that they already know is going to be good at that job, or they already know something about. And so they rely really heavily on someone that they might have already met in a previous job and bring them across. Referral programs are huge with companies. There's normally incentives that you can get working for a business if you refer someone to come and work at your company, up to like a couple of $1,000s for certain companies.
The gist, I guess, is people appreciate like other people's opinions, because if you respect someone's opinion and they're recommending someone, it's like, okay, I can trust that because you're right, as opposed to hiring a stranger. You don't really know how they're going to turn out. A good example, this happened to me last week. I was networking in my private life, in my personal life. We have a yaya next door who lives next door. She feeds us all the time. She's the best. And they own the house across the road, and she came across the fence the other day and was like, "You'll know anyone who wants to move next door?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know, but we'll keep it in mind." And then lo and behold, my best friend is house searching. There's a bit of a rental crisis in the Gong at the moment. I was like, hold up. So she came over. We went and knocked on Yaya's door and introduced her and was like, "Yaya, hook us up. This is my friend. She wants to move into your house." She was ecstatic. And for the same reasons you've just mentioned, people want good people. So she was like, "Oh, thank you. I wanted to know, you're great neighbors. I wanted some nice girls that you know. And my best friend gets the keys tomorrow." So there's networking for you. She would have never got that house if we didn't go and network. She would have just been another number on the application list. And
Exactly.
It worked. Yaya wanted our personal opinions.
Definitely. And if you haven't been in the position of hiring someone before, maybe think about it like this. When you want to go to a new hairdresser, or you need someone to fix your bathroom, or you need a plumber or a mechanic, that's a big one, you don't really just want to go with something off Google. It doesn't feel, you're like, oh, what if they're bad? You look at the reviews, but mostly you ask someone that you trust, someone at work, "Hey, where do you get your hair done? I haven't really found a good place." And you go where they recommend because you trust that person's opinion.
So true. We're people driven.
Absolutely. Word of mouth. That's essentially what we're talking about here, but word of mouth for your career. And I think this doesn't always have to be a job that someone is creating for you. You don't have to be searching for a job right now for networking to be good for you. Someone might give you an opportunity to speak at an event. That's happened to me. I've spoken as a panel member at a couple of events before, which is so cool. And it's been really great for my career to have that kind of experience. If you're networking with us at the moment, you might end up on the podcast one day. Pretty much everyone I'm meeting lately, I've been saying, "Oh, great story. You have an interesting career. Maybe you should come on the podcast." So you never know what something might create for you, even if it's, not a job. You were telling me about some kind of freelance experience that you've gotten recently.
Yeah, definitely. So I sort of got that through networking. I never thought, I don't know. And this is a good point because I definitely am not networking at cocktail parties in a power suit. That's not at all. It's much minor, everyday conversational networking, but nonetheless networking. I have done some voiceovers for another popular podcast before that started because they just put a call out in a Facebook group. I just went on a whim and applied, and now I'm kind of in contact with that person, talking about like helping out hosting future eps and a little writing gig I have for a local mag. I got that because my friend actually was helping out with the photography and Instagram page and got me to do a little as a guest on like a little fun segment they were doing on socials. And the lady that I had to send it off to, I was like, "Oh, this was so fun. I'm a journalism student. Like, thanks so much. Can't wait to see it online," or whatever. And she replied being like, "I studied journalism too. If you ever want, to do any articles, let me know." And I was straight on that. And then it's flourished into this awesome ongoing gig. And then that in turn, having those contacts there, whenever I have uni assessments where I need to like, you know, create a podcast or media or write articles or whatever, I've reached out to them before to get me in contact with some cool talent. Like I had a podcast that I had to do on local businesses that like adapted their business structures with COVID, and my first point of contact was the lady that runs this magazine because it's a local mag, and she gave me like 5 contacts and was like, yep, here's their number, I've told her about you, give her a call. It's just, it's networking is the gift that keeps on giving.
Absolutely.
Really,
and people want to help each other. Like if someone said to you, Em, they were a first year journalism student and they were like, oh, Em, you know, I need some help. Like what should I do with uni or whatever? You'd be like, oh, I have all this knowledge and you know, I can't use it anymore because I've already done my first year. You just want to share it. And I think we underestimate a lot how giving someone will be willing to be with us
absolutely.
in terms of connecting us with someone or putting us in touch with someone else. Like that's networking right there. You haven't necessarily gotten a job out of it, but they've put you in touch with someone else that might be helpful.
Definitely. And then you keep them as the contact because you've built good rapport with them, and then the next thing you need, you can hit up them for a contact. Like it literally is just a cycle, and it's incredible. So we know now how it can help our job search. We've touched on that there. But let's talk some strategies because, as we've said, it's not always the suit cocktail party formal thing. How do we go about networking? Like, do you have to be like, hi, my name's Emma. Would you mind if we talk corporate for a moment? Like, is it like that, or how? Like, give us specifics. How do we ease into that?
Yeah, so a really good tip with this actually came from our dad. He told me once he got a really big award in his career, and he told me the reason he got that award is because he's always telling stories about the kind of work that he's doing to other people in his business. And that was something that led to someone higher up learning about the program that they'd rolled out and was really impressed by it and nominated him for this internal award. And I've kind of adapted that and used that a lot in my career. And the way that I like to think about it is if you're having a conversation with someone and let's say they're a manager of another area or just someone in a different zone you don't normally interact with, and they say, oh, how's things, in your team? Never answer with good thanks. It's a missed opportunity, and you're really wasting an opportunity to tell them about what you're working on. So I always answer with a story. And I'm really glad we did the storytelling episode early on. If you haven't listened to that one, go back and listen to that one because storytelling is always really relevant when you're connecting with people because it makes something a little bit more engaging. So as an example,
gotta spin the
CEO. Yeah, so the CEO might walk past your desk one afternoon and you just happen to be sitting there and no one else in the team is there. And he goes, oh, nice to see you. And just making small talk. He doesn't really want to know exactly how you are, but, might ask, oh, how's things? What's going on? I would always come back with something interesting. Oh, well, actually, yesterday I did X, Y, Z and it's got some really good results so far. And I'm really excited to be working on it. As opposed to, yeah, good, thanks. And that meant that person, whoever it was, now knows something that you've been working on. And we told a quote in a previous episode, decisions about your career will be made in rooms that you're not in. So you've got to create champions in that room. And if someone else is being a champion for you, and then there's someone else in the room that knows, she did mention something about working on that project recently. Yeah, that sounded really cool. They've got some recognition. Yeah, I agree that person's really good at their job. So sometimes that's all it takes. And those promotion decisions can be fully made off the back of one of those types of conversations. I have seen it happen. Doing the work is not always enough. You've got to tell other people that you've been doing the work.
You've got to tell them. Is it bad that that really wouldn't be a problem for me? Because even not in the corporate world, like if someone asks me what's going on, I give them a whole spiel. I never just say good. I'm like, oh, well, yeah, I'm doing this. Like I kind of like shag my a little bit there. But like, yeah, so if you're a talker.
I've never heard that saying before.
Haven't you?
No. I don't recommend using that in your networking.
You get what I mean, though? Like, if someone's like, oh my God, what's new with you? I'm like, oh, well, I have a dream job. I've got an internship. I've got a podcast. Like, I'm just like, oh, it's so good. Like, I'm an oversharer. I'm a storyteller. So if you're like me, you're a big extrovert and you're always talking, then you won't have any problems to telling someone all the cool stuff you're doing. But if you're a bit shy and are used to just going for the, oh, yeah, good, thanks, maybe just embody some big dick energy for 5 seconds and spin a yarn. Tell them what you're up to. Tell them how mad you are. Tell them how you're the backbone of whatever you're doing. Because they'll remember you.
Storytelling, it's key. The other really good tip that I had was keep in touch with old colleagues, people that you worked with in the past. They will go
burn your
on
bridges.
Yes, absolutely. They will go on to other cool companies that you might want to work for, and they might be able to refer you. The amount of times that I've been asked internally, oh, do you know anyone who'd be good for this job? Part of that's because I often do the recruitment myself, but it happens all the time. Hey, do you know anyone who'd be good as a junior marketing person? Hey, do you know anyone who'd be good as an accountant? And you're thinking, okay, who was the last accountant that I worked with? Were they any good? So keep in touch with anyone that you used to work with. And this is where LinkedIn can really come in handy because it's hard to keep a track of everyone's email addresses and things like that. So if you've got a LinkedIn account, I always recommend it. If you don't have one, go and set one up. If you've got them on LinkedIn, you can easily just reach out and message them, or they can message you.
I'm feeling attacked because I still do not have a LinkedIn and it's been on my life admin to-do list for a very long time. So if you've been on LinkedIn trying to look for me, because I've got so many fans, I'm sorry. I'll get one soon.
Emma, you need a LinkedIn.
I know. I'm busy and I don't really know how it works. Anyway,
well, you know what?
I'll do it.
It's a good thing that we've got it planned for our episodes coming up of how to set up your LinkedIn profile. So you'll have to do it after
Well,
we
I'll
do
wait for that. Yeah.
Great. Sounds
fantastic.
good.
All right, easy. Well, then I'm not sorry that I don't have one. See, I knew this would happen.
Hey, Interview Boss listeners, if the podcast just isn't doing it for you and you need way more help to prep for your next interview, we have the perfect thing for you. Interview Academy. Em, tell us all about it.
This is huge. This is the love child of Sarah after doing hundreds of one-on-one coaching sessions, finding out what people struggle with the most, common mistakes. Sarah has created the ultimate course that you can do in your own time, self-paced, heaps of modules, videos, interactive quizzes, a workbook that will become your Bible by the end that you can take with you into your interview, because if you're a long-time listener, you know that we endorse taking notes into your interview. It's a game changer.
Check out more about it at interviewboss.com.au/interview academy.
Now, we've got some strategies there, some good strategies, but they were sort of organic strategies in the moment, things you can do. But sometimes we can network not so organically. We can go in cold and literally just hit people up. Can you tell us about that? What kind of things can we do just to really put ourselves out there?
Yeah, if you want to go all in and you're really trying to you're really hungry for a career change or a big opportunity, and you're willing to put yourself out there a little bit more, go all in. I think asking people for like an informational interview is what you could call it, or just, most people would refer to it as like a coffee chat or something like that. You can do these virtually, obviously, in the world that we're living in at the moment. You can ask
coronavirus.
a coffee over Zoom, or a phone call or something like that. But you'd basically reach out to someone either on LinkedIn, on their email address if you have it, through whatever channel that you might have. You can slide into their DMs if you're that way inclined, and say to them, hey, I am, working in this area. I'm really interested in working, in the career that you're in. I'd love to know a little bit more about you. Yeah, I want to get some tips for you, some advice in your career. The amount of
and
times...
pro tip, people love talking about themselves. They're going to be so excited. I love talking about myself. Everyone does. If people say they don't enjoy it, they're lying to you. Everybody loves it because it's flattering and they feel like, oh my God, this person's looking up to me. They want my advice. They feel like they've made it. It's lovely. Do it.
Yeah. And look, there may be some people out there who get this a lot. There might be. If they're super, if you're reaching out to someone who's a big entrepreneur, big profile out in the community, that kind of thing, they might get this a lot. But for the majority of people who do the jobs that you probably want to do in the future, they mostly get spam in their LinkedIn messages. They mostly get people, trying to sell them something or asking them for something. Whereas this is an opportunity for them to reach out and help someone, and they could be a mentor. Everyone wants to be a mentor. So reach out to them, send them that message. If you want a bit of a template and you don't know what to say in that message, let us know in the Facebook group. I can probably put together like a little template of what you could actually write to someone. Let us know if you want something like that, and we'll put it together. But yeah, go all in, like reach out to a whole bunch of people, set up a bunch of these. I've seen this work before. I had a friend who moved to New York, and she didn't have a job when she went over there, like very like ballsy move to move over without a job. And she booked in like 20 of these sessions with various different people, got someone who was willing to refer her into the job instead of her applying externally. She got the interview, got the job.
Wow.
And yeah, because she was referred as opposed to being just another candidate. So
see the power of people's opinions. People want other people's opinions. Shoot your shot.
Exactly.
What have you got to lose?
Absolutely shoot your
honestly
shot.
My life motto. Every time I've shooted my shot. What's the word? What's the tense there? Every time I've
shot my shot.
Yeah, every time I've shot my shot, I've got a bloody, what do you call it when you get like the shot right in the middle? Like I've got a bullseye, I don't know if that's the right word.
You won't get a bullseye. You won't get a bullseye every time, but you'll get something out of it.
I'm just trying to encourage people. Come on.
Yes, I know.
You can do it. Okay, so great. We've got that. Go in hard. You've got nothing to lose. Shoot your shot. Another little tip to finish us off, to round out this episode, we've got expect the unexpected. It sounds very dramatic, but can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, so this is where social settings can be a great networking opportunity. And you may not think of like going to a barbecue or meeting someone new at the pub or whatever as a networking opportunity, but it absolutely can be. Literally on the weekend, I came home and I bumped into one of my housemate's friends who I hadn't met before. And I was chatting to her while my housemate was in another room, and we were talking about what we do, and I said, I've got to record this podcast, and she was talking to me about podcasting. She's got this like really interesting job, and she's been on a podcast before. We're now connected on LinkedIn. We might have her on the show one day. You never know. Like that was literally in my own house, but if I hadn't have mentioned anything to do with my job or my career, we may not have talked about that. If you separate your life too much in terms of like social and then work, and you never cross the two, you may never realize that someone in your network, in your social network, might be able to help you out. And you mentioned, you got one of your jobs. You might not realize
you can exploit them.
You're not exploiting them. People like helping each other. We just talked about that. I actually got some consulting work through being at a barbecue and talking about what I did. And someone goes, actually, I could use that. Send me an email? And literally the next day,
bam,
we were arranging a meeting. It doesn't always work exactly that way, but you never know who that person might know, or they now know someone who does your job. They now know a journalism student. They now know an HR person when they may not have before. So they might think about you when something comes up or they need support with something. So expect the unexpected. Don't be afraid to talk about what you do outside of traditional work contexts. Your Uber driver might be a great contact one day. Who knows? Expect the unexpected.
Don't overlook anyone. Yeah. I mean, it's true in all facets of life. Expect the unexpected. I love that. Awesome. Well, that kind of wraps up our episode today. I hope you guys have found it valuable. I mean, we've busted the myth. Networking is not just martinis and suits at fancy cocktail parties. It is everyday internal networking. It's online. It's at events. It's cold calling people. It's barbecues. It's everything. But networking is the gift that keeps on giving, and you need to give it a go. People harp on about it for a reason. As we've just delved into, the benefits can be invaluable. So that's it for today. We'll be back in your ears next week. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much for listening to Interview Boss. If you want to hear more from us, make sure you hit subscribe. We're a new podcast, so if you liked this episode, we'd really appreciate it if you could give us a review so we can help even more people. For more advice, inspiration, and a supportive community, join us in the Interview Boss Facebook group.
If we've been your job search besties and helped you in some way, there's a cool way you can support the show. Shout us a virtual coffee.
We get a huge kick out of reading all of your success stories. Head to buymeacoffee.com/interviewboss and shout us a cuppa.
If you keep us caffeinated, we can keep the content coming.